everybody, good to be with you all again. Yeah, good morning. So next stream is going to be on Thursday, which will be, no, not the 17th at all, the 24th. Let me change that. The 24th of April at 3:30 UK time. So hi there to everybody. Hi to Julia and Lando. Hi to Oksana. Hi to Renyard. Hi to Victoria. And hi to Yuri. And hi to Manisco as well. Lovely to have you all with us. And hi there to Maurits as well. So let's put this up and let's start. Okay, this was about an article about plants being resistant to drought. So maize plants, whoops, hi Nadia as well. Maize plants might also survive after a drought, he says, but when they quench, remoisturize, rehydrate, humidify, they don't go back to the same leaf architecture they had before, and the flow of CO2 and water is all messed up. Hi Vitali. So Oksana goes for rehydrate. Rehydrate for Julia as well. Rehydrate for Vitali. This looks good. Replenish. Replenish is probably slightly different. You replenish, I guess it could work, but to put back something that was, you normally replenish supplies. Rehydrate for Renyard, rehydrate for Nadia. Okay, hi Victor, rehydrate for Victoria. To quench is to satisfy, normally to quench your thirst. Let's see, quench, a blacksmith, when he's making something in metal and it's red hot and he's banging it with his hammer, making a horseshoe, and then he takes this horseshoe and he puts it in water and it goes psh. That is to quench. But normally to quench your thirst, to quench your desire for knowledge, to satisfy, but most commonly to quench your thirst. Okay, I guess you could quench demand by the demand for a product by putting it on the market. Okay, quench is a very nice word. And drought, therefore, erodes, compromises, hamstrings, deteriorates, subverts their growth long after the rains have returned. Hi Patricia, lovely to see you. Yay. Drought therefore erodes, compromises, hamstrings, deteriorates, subverts their growth. So Lando goes for compromises. Compromises or hamstrings, says Oksana. Compromises for Vitali. Deteriorates, says Victoria. Messes up. Yes, messes up looks pretty good, Yuri. Compromises, says Renyard. Okay, so erode is to take away the surface of something little by little. Compromises for Julia. Compromises for Nadia. So the compromises for Maurits. The statue is being eroded by acid rain. Let's see. Let's try that. Whoops. No, okay, I've changed the size, but now I'm in trouble. Wait for it. I'll be back with you in a second. Okay, so to deteriorate, to make worse. Here we're quite close now. Okay, that's where we started from. This works. So yes, dear oh dear. Okay, so we've got that quench. Yes, we did rehydrate. It stunts, not stumps, but stunts their growth. No. I'm sorry about this. You're gonna have to bear with me. Yes, here we go. Stymies their growth is not bad either. Oh, yeah. Yes, first, second. Okay, here we are. So, let's see. Erodes, no, to compromise. Compromises is the answer. It destroys their growth. It means that they're no longer any good at it. To hamstring. I guess to hamstring might work, but to hamstring a process. This is where you cut the tendon at the back of the leg, and somebody he can't walk or can't run. To hamstring, to make more difficult. To deteriorate, no. To subvert is to compromise. Let's go to the next one. It takes a toll on. That's a good word, Yuri. So we're back. But resurrection plants seem to come back from drought. Come back to the form that they had before the drought, he says. If we can create maize that does that, that's fantastic. Because we can redeem, retake, regain, resume that productivity. So Oksana says regain. If we can create maize that does that, go back to its original form, that's fantastic. Because we can redeem, retake, regain, reassume. Victoria goes for regain. Maize is corn, Yuri. Maize is corn. Regain, says Julia. Regain, says Nadia. Okay, let's see. Normally you redeem a voucher. Or maybe to redeem, to make yourself clean. To revive, says Renyard. To redeem. Let's see, if you do something bad, you could redeem yourself by doing something good. We retake, to regain, to get back. To get back that productivity. To reassume. Reassume is start again. To regain, says Moritz. Regain, says Chaya. Hi, Chaya. To recoup. Recoup is a good word, Vitali. Okay, so to redeem, to change something bad for something good. Yeah, to do something to pardon yourself. To retake. No, not to retake. To reassume. To start again. No, to regain, to get back. Resurrection plants have evolved their essential skill by replacing disappearing water with sugars such as sucrose, turning the inside of their cells into a clammy, viscous, muggy, soggy, glass-like substance that slows down any chemical reactions. So it turns the inside of their cells into a clammy, viscous, muggy, soggy, glass-like substance that slows down any chemical reactions. So we got viscous from Vitali, viscous from Oksana, viscous from Lando, viscous from Maize, viscous from Julia. So let's look at these words. Clammy is wet on the outside. So, you feel rather clammy, you feel damp and cold. Viscous for Nadia, viscous for Patricia. The walls are clammy. Revive, yes, revive is the correct answer, Renyard. To revive is perfect. Revive is the perfect answer. Yeah, but the corn will be even worse. Viscous, says Victoria. Something that's viscous is very thick. It's treacly. It's like a thick yogurt or something like that. Muggy talks about the weather where it's very hot and humid and it might rain. Soggy is damp and horrible. So viscous, thick, dense, with a high density, viscous. Known as vitrification, the same tactic is used by dry, desiccation, parch, thirst, waterless, tolerant animals such as tardigrades, also known as water bears, and the eggs of the Artemia shrimp, sea monkeys. Thick like molasses, yes. Okay, so desiccation tolerant, says Oksana. Desiccation tolerant, thirst tolerant animals, says Nadia. Thirst, says Yuri. Thirst, says Vitali. And thirst, says Julia. So we got desiccation for Oksana and Renyard, and thirst for the rest of you for the moment. Let's see what the rest of you say. Desiccation, says Victoria. Hi, Olga, says thirst. I'm looking at this. So, and the eggs of an Artemia shrimp. How can eggs be thirsty? Desiccation, says Maize. Oh, your eyes are burning, I can see that. Okay, so dry tolerant. It doesn't collocate very nicely. Desiccation sounds very nice. Parch tolerant, waterless tolerant. No, it's desiccation tolerant. These are creatures that can dry up completely. The eggs of the Artemia shrimp, you can dry these completely. These water bears are quite amazing as well. So desiccation. Desiccation sounds rather scientific, especially exactly in the style of the article. Yes, the article, it sounds very scientific and very technical. It's a good word as well, yes. No, desiccation is to dry completely. Let's see, Lando. Desiccated coconut. It's complete. Desiccation is completely dried. Okay. As they turn to glass, these plants also deconstruct their photosynthetic machinery, such as chloroplasts, switching off their primary source of food as they turn into a state of dormancy, idleness, sleep, stagnation, immobility. Yes, Reynard, desiccation is but complete dehydration. Desiccation is where you take all of the water out of something. I found a leaf in a flower that had been in a book for 100 years, and it was completely desiccated, completely dry. Dormancy for Oksana and Vitali and Olga. Dormancy for Nadia and Reynard. Dormancy for Maurits. Dormancy for Julia and Patricia. A state of... Dormancy sounds the best fit, yes. A state of stagnation, well, immobility, not moving. Idleness is just being lazy. A state of sleep would be hibernation. But a state of dormancy, it needs to be completely woken up. Yes, dormancy. And dormancy for Victoria as well. Well done, Victoria. Yes, hibernation would be sleep. Good morning, keyword. To hold their assembly of proteins and cell membranes together, they secrete a team, suite, gang, pack of protective proteins known as chaperones, since they guide the cell through dangerous times. Good morning. A pack, says Maurits. A pack, says Vitali. A suite, says Oksana. A pack, says Victoria. A pack, says Julia. A suite, says Olga. This one's quite interesting. A bevy. Yeah, a bevy would definitely work, Yuri. A pack, says Renyard. A pack, says Nadia. So, anyone else going to have a try for this? An array. Yes, Yuri, definitely. Okay, a team. It's not a team. A team is a group of people. A gang is also a group of people. Do you want to be in my gang? A pack, says Chaya. Okay, well, a plethora, says Slipknot. Sweet sounds quite appropriate to Patricia. A myriad, says Yuri. Welcome, Slipknot. Lovely to have you. Okay, so a pack normally indicates that it comes in some sort of packet. A pack of proteins. I guess pack could work, but the answer was sweet. A set. The answer here is a suite. A series. A series of various protective proteins. So I have to say well done to Oksana, well done to Olga, and well done to Patricia. Yeah, a suite of protective proteins. I think this is a set of things that go together. Yep, I go live every day. No, not every day this time. Every week, every Tuesday at this time. A suite is a hotel room. A palace of. A suite. Okay. Okay, a suite is like a set of rooms. A suite of things. Each one does slightly different things. And that, I think that's why the suite. A palace or a fortress, a suite. Microsoft Suite. Set of programs by Microsoft. Thank you, keyword. Okay, so a suite is a set of things. Cause proteins go in series. A suite. Okay, that's quite an interesting one. A selection, yes, Olga. How they preserve their flesh, meat, body tissue is quite a miracle, Farrant says. Tissue says Maurits, tissue says Lando, tissue says Julia, tissue says Oksana, flesh says Olga. An inner circle, tissue says Victoria, flesh says Chaya. Tissue says Renyard. Tissue. Yep, it's perfectly fine. Tissue or tissue. It's actually interesting that's an interesting question, Lando. Because it's the Brits who like to put this sh sound in things. Tissue, 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 tissue. Both are good, Lando. Tissue for Patricia. Chaya says body. Slipknot says body. Tissue or flesh says Nadia. Fabric says Patricia. Okay, let's see. Flesh is meat. Flesh. The flesh of my arm. Yeah? Flesh. The flesh of this. The meat, no. The body, no. Tissue is a much more general word. And it's also a nice scientific biologist word. To go with what Renyard said before. Okay, the tissue, yeah, the flesh and the meat, no, they preserve their body would be the whole thing. Tissue for Starry, yeah, the thing that it's made up of. Okay, it's great to have you from Iraq. The dermis would be the skin. But dermis, yeah, it could be the dermis. The dermis of a plant could be. In a sense, the skills, talents, crafts, abilities of resurrection plants are not so different to the seeds of most flowering plants. Abilities says Renyard, abilities says Olga, abilities says Oksana, abilities for Julia, abilities for Maurits, abilities for Vitali. Crafts says Lando. Abilities says Nadia. Abilities says Yuri. Abilities says Starry. Okay, let's see. Let's start with, so a skill is something that you're able to do normally with your hands. Abilities for Victoria. So I don't know, he's very skillful with the football. Skills, talents and crafts are for human beings, usually, yes. The others sound too anthropomorphic. Abilities. You teach, okay, I teach you to craft sentences in the English language. Okay, but normally a craft is something like being able to make baskets, to weave baskets, or to craft is talking about making things, but this is the abilities, because I think a skill and a talent is something that you do, something with your mind or with your hands. So abilities, the abilities, the thing that it's able to do. When dried and stored in a dark and cold place, many seeds can survive for years. Abilities, powers of, yes, I like that, powers of, Vitali. When dried and stored in a dark and cold place, many seeds can survive for years, sometimes millennia, preserving the recipe, prescription, plan, pattern to make a new plant when warmth and water return. The tourists are into a bit of handicrafts in Myanmar. Yes, definitely, Julia. Okay, pattern for Starry, pattern for Lando, pattern for Vitali, pattern for Olga, pattern for Nadia, pattern for Maurits, pattern for Victoria. Okay, a recipe's making food. Pattern for Julia. A prescription is what the doctor gives you for a medicine. A pattern for Oksana, a pattern for Renyard. A plan is what a general uses before a battle. But a pattern, this is the information. The way to make something is the pattern. Pattern. Yep, pattern. That's quite interesting. Pattern. Yes. Not pattern, pattern. Yes, definitely a glottal stop. Pattern or recipe. Blueprint. Blueprint I quite like as well. The fascinating ability of resurrection plants to survive intact, so without water for months, has obvious call, invitation, appeal, charm in a world seeing rising desertification and increasingly erratic drought. It's horribly dry today. Appeal, says Oksana. Appeal, says Starry. Appeal, says Vitali. Appeal for Lando. Appeal for Maurits. So let's see. Has obvious appeal. Has obvious call. Call. Something that calls you, maybe. Invitation. No. Charm means it's beautiful. It's something that you like. So appeal for Renyard and Victoria and Julia and Olga and Nadia. Okay, yes, something that has appeal. It's something that you would like to have. It's appealing. It sings to you. Yes, take me, take me, take me. Appeal for Nadia. Okay, it has obvious appeal in a world that is becoming drier and drier. Appeal, allure for Victoria. If these same habits, trademarks, clues, markers, traits could be used in crops, it could help maintain food production in areas which are drying up. If these same habits, trademarks, clues, markers, traits could be used. Traits for Lando, traits for Oksana, traits for Vitali, traits for Renyard, traits for Julia, traits for Victoria, traits for Starry, traits for Olga. Victoria's your third name. Traits for Nadia. Definitely traits, says Dawit. Hi Dawit, nice to see you. Okay, a habit is something that you do habitually. A trademark is a picture that says this is your product. A clue is what a detective follows. A marker is something that shows you where something is. What would marker mean? A marker is something that goes from one place to the next, to the next, to the next, and you can follow the line. For example, if you put when you go to the hospital and they want to see how your blood is flowing, they put a radioactive marker into you, and that marks the different places where something goes. A marker is something that you can see and you can follow to the different places it goes. Traits for Chaya. Yes, Chaya, that's very good. Well done, Chaya. Okay, so a marker. It mark the position of something in space. Yes, that's very good, Dawit. Traits, characteristics, absolutely. The traits could be used in crops. Okay, and I don't know what this is. That's it. That looks better. But altering the genome properties. Okay, but altering the genomes of organisms remains debatable, disputable, controversial, arguable in many areas of the world. So controversial for Maurits, controversial for Julia, controversial for Olga, controversial for Vitaly, controversial for Lando, and controversial for Nadia. Debatable, says Renyard. Debatable, says Starry. So if something is debatable, there are people who say there are some people who think this is true and some people who don't think it is true. Debatable, says Victoria. Debatable may work, says Dalwick. Controversial, says Olga. Debatable, says Patricia. So let's see, if something is debatable, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. If something is debatable, we're wondering if something is true. So I don't know, the existence of God is debatable, or the effectiveness of medicines to kill a virus is debatable. Whereas, okay, controversial, says Chaya. Controversial is something that people argue about. It's debatable whether this method works or not. Okay, so something that's debatable, disputable, the same, yes, and arguable as well, while you're at it. Okay, so possible to debate. Yeah, there's no clear answer. Possible to do. It's not prohibited to debate. Debatable invites skepticism, whereas controversial says that many people are arguing about it. It's arguable that this is true. It's arguable that this is false. It's debatable whether this is true. So there's some people who believe this is true, and there's some people who don't believe it is true. Whereas controversial is people get angry because they have different sides, and controversial is a much better word. Okay. Which team is the best team? Well, that is something that is always debatable, something that's disputable, or something. It's arguable that my team is the best. Yeah, I think you could say the existence of love is debatable. I don't know if love exists or not. So that's but something that's controversial is something that people feel very strongly about, and they argue about whether it's acceptable or not. But debatable, possible to debate. And clearly we are able to alter the genomes. We're able to alter the genes. It's not debatable whether we can do it or not. Yeah, we know we can do it. Therefore, whether we live in a simulation or not is debatable, is disputable, is arguable. That's very good, Dawit. Yes. So we can definitely do it, but it's controversial because whether we should do it or not, and that's the controversy. Okay, this is something that's controversial and people are arguing about. So let's stop there. That's enough for today, ladies and gentlemen. So next stream is on Thursday, which is the 24th. Yeah, 24th of April at 3:30 p.m. UK time. So, hi Ranchoda. So, thank you all for coming. It's been great. I think whatever you feel more comfortable with, Ranchodas. Use them or don't use them. I don't think it matters. I think that they can be helpful, or you're trying yourself without them. So hi Seng, great to have you. Thank you Victoria. Thank you Manisco. Thank you Starry. A mermaid out of water today. I'll redeem the wishes for the rest of the week. Okay, that's lovely. So thank you Chaya, thank you Dawit, thank you Julia, thank you Lando, thank you Manisco, thank you to Maurits, thank you to Nadia, thank you to Oksana, thank you to Patricia, thank you Ranchodas, thank you Renyard, thank you Seng, thank you Starry, thank you Victoria, thank you Yuri. It's been having you. So take care all of you, and I'll see you all on Thursday. Okay, paid off. Woof. Let's see. Something pays off is something that can be successful. So, by studying 4 hours a day paid off because I passed my exam. Okay, so it was a useful technique. It was a useful thing to do. This official has been paid off by a corrupt businessman. Yeah, so paid off can also mean to bribe. Yeah, to give somebody money to do something perhaps illegal. So this official has been paid off. So my efforts paid off, hard work pays off. The official has been paid off. Okay, so take care everybody, and I hope to see you all on Thursday. So bye for now.